right, let's start with a little news from around the league. While you were sleeping, Dame Time Lillard, Damian Lamont Ollie Lillard Sr., if you please, put on a tray, a 60-piece extra crispy wing tray platter on Utah Jazz and their heads. Just ridiculous, redonkulous, stupid. Flames. I'm getting text messages with the clock. That's the only thing I'm getting in the text message. Just easy, efficient, one of the best performances I've ever seen. And we talk about Dame time, right? We talk about that. It's the fourth quarter, usually late in the fourth. This Wednesday, it started late in the third, where Dame made the final 20 consecutive points for the Portland Trail Blazers. He had 50 points, a 50-piece, after 3 quarters of play. One of the very few to ever do that. And the entire game was kind of like just a little kid's fantasy in his backyard. Dame shot, 20 for 29 from the field, which is the 4th player in NBA history to get 60 and shoot 70% along the way. You had Wilt, of course, because he's right underneath the bucket, and he's big, and he probably dunked 80% of his shots. Karl Malone, who we hate for obvious reasons. David Thompson, who we've talked about recently. And that's just the beginning. According to the NBA, it was the most efficient 60-point game of all time. Yeah. When he was told about this, hey, this was a crazy game. Did you know that this was historic? This is what he said.
This is the most efficient 60-point game ever in terms of your shot attempts and free throw attempts.
No, I didn't. I mean, I usually, when I leave here, that's when I check my phone and I have, messages and people sending me stuff or whatever. But I mean, I didn't know that.
Is this 60?
It's the most efficient 60-point game ever, for real.
That's probably why it felt simple for you.
Yeah, it was pretty simple. Maybe let's see. Dang.
So does this 60 hit you different?
He's smiling, looking at me.
That's crazy, because I ain't know that. I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking like I had a shot at the end of the shot clock from half court toward the end that I shot. It probably would have been a little bit better. I had a couple that I missed the free throw. Damn.
You also tied Jordan and Harden to the with 4, which is third most behind Kobe's 6 and Wilt 32. So Kobe's within striking distance.
We ain't catching Wilt.
We're not catching Wilt. No, you're not. So he was absolutely stunned, right? And this is what he had to say, pretty much exactly what you would think. I don't want to say that it was easy because they had big bodies and some long defenders out there, but I think usually I get into a groove where I'm just going without making those simple plays, and teams start to come after me sooner. But I was kicking it ahead, I was swinging it, so it didn't feel like they actually came after me until the very end. That's why it seemed like the most simple one of all of them. Just the most simple 60-point performance of all of them that Dame has ever had. So I think the thing that's interesting about this performance is it's a jumping off point into what Dame has a new name for. This type of Dame performance. We've got Dame time, right? But this is something different. Dame refers to this as Dame space. Like space and time. Dame time is scoring 50. Dame space is scoring 60 on 29 shot attempts. Dame space is something that he must do and is unattainable to do and live there for an entire NBA season because, as he said, you would go crazy if you were to do that. You would have no life. You would only be preparing for the game. Sounds like me. Sounds like what my life is like, Dame space. But Portland is going to need Dame space because they are in the 13th seed. They are 2 games under 500. They have been blowing leads. They're not winning close games. And ultimately, players that they should rely on, could rely on, have relied on, are no longer reliable, i.e. Yusuf Nurkic. So in the last 10 games, Dame has been an astronaut. He's averaging, in the last 10, 38 points per game, 8.5 assists, 4.1 rebounds with 1 steal. And he's also limited his turnovers from 4 turnovers per game to 3 turnovers per game. So his play, even when Portland loses, has been incredible, has been something fun to watch, even in a sad L. And you know what? I've thought about it long and hard. I said it on Twitter last night. I don't care anymore. Honestly, I don't care about Portland winning or losing because ultimately that makes me sad. What I do care about is watching Dame space. And if I can get Dame space, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Portland being the 13th seed and Dame feeling like he has to be Superman and he has to score 60. I am, as a bettor, just elated to know that as long as they're in the doldrums, he's probably going to be safe to go off for 40 pretty much every single night, and they'll set the line at like 34 and a half. I am just purely happy, really, to see Dame be Dame again. Remember, he missed almost all of last year with an abdominal injury and surgery. We weren't sure if we were going to get to see this version of Dame ever again. And now we're getting not just Dame time, but Dame space. A whole new level. He came back from that injury and had the ability to, I don't know, defy time, space, gravity. When is Dame? There's another level coming. Dame monster. Dame dinosaur. I don't know. I think it's just something that we all need to appreciate. The way that teams are blazing out west anyway, we're not doing anything. Let's be honest. The Blazers, they're not going to compete for anything of note. You think this team can beat the Nuggets? You think this team can beat the Memphis Grizzlies? No. You think this team could even beat the fully healthy? Who's guarding Zion on this team? It's certainly not Nurk. It's not Nasir Little. No one. No one is stopping Zion on this team. So hey, you have some fun young pieces. You got Jeremy Grant. You're going to sign him to a long-term deal. You're going to figure out what's going on with Anthony Simons because he may not work long-term. You've got to figure out how to get Nurk off the books. And then, honestly, develop the hell out of Keon Johnson and Shaden Sharp and maybe get yourself a little lottery pick because this lottery is going to be nice. All I care about from now on, and all I think Blazer fans should care about now, is Dame space. As long as he's healthy, as long as he's putting up monster games, no more negative peeps from me. And honestly, the media should be the same. Stop asking Dame when he's going to grow tired of this organization. Stop asking him that. That makes him sad. That makes him question whether he wants to be on this team. Why are you guys pushing Dame to want out? You cover this godforsaken team. You want to see no Dame on this team? You want to get him so mad that he remembers that he almost asked out? Fuck those people, honestly. You are not worth the pen that is in your hand that you write those notes with.